As the US government faces its final week with funding, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives faces failed votes in each attempt, led by a small group of far-right Republicans within the party. US President Joe Biden said on Monday that the black community would suffer if the Congress doesn't provide funding for the federal government after September 30.
Just a few months ago, the Speaker of the House and I agreed to spending levels for the government. We were up right to the very edge, almost reneged on our debt, and that we're going to fund essential priorities and still cut the deficit by $1 trillion over the next decade. Now a small group of extreme House Republicans, they don't want to live up to that deal, and everyone in America could be faced with paying a price for that. They're changing it. We made a deal. We shook hands. We said this is what we're going to do, and now they're reneging on the deal, which is not much of a surprise these days. And the black community in particular is going to suffer if that occurs. The Department of Housing and Urban Development will have to stop nearly all of its enforcement work fighting housing discrimination. EPA would have to stop its important work bringing environmental justice in frontline and fence-line communities.
Earlier, Agriculture Secretary warned that a government shutdown risks nutritional assistance for the nearly 7 million low-income women and children who rely on benefits.
Let me start with WIC. WIC is a program that impacts and affects over 50% of all the newborns in this country. Nearly 7 million pregnant moms, new mothers, and young children count on WIC every single day to receive support, nutrition assistance support. With a shutdown, what we would see across the United States is a denial of those benefits and opportunities. In some cases, it would be literally within a matter of days after the shutdown. In some cases, it may be, in some states, it may be literally in a matter of weeks. But clearly, during the course of a shutdown, millions of those moms, babes, and young children would see a lack of nutrition assistance. It's also about our farm economy. Now is a time when farmers are harvesting their crops, and they're seeking marketing loans, which allow them and assist them in ensuring that they get a decent price for their crop. When we have a shutdown, Farm Service Agency offices in virtually every county of this country shut down, and those loans are not available.
For voters visiting the nation's capital, the wishes are just as split on Congress. Some wants the entire chamber to work together and ignore the demands of a small group, while others would be happy to see the government shut down.
I get frustrated that they don't come here and get their job done. That's my biggest frustration. We wouldn't be allowed to do that in any of our jobs. You go in, you have a job to do, and you do it. And if that's what they're hired to do, why aren't they doing their jobs? We're paying them to do it.
I think they see their jobs as trying to get the most that they can against opposition rather than working together. And so push everything off to the deadline so that they have most leverage on their particular things that they want to get done. Which sounds good in theory, but it also just makes a mess out of everything, and why can't they work together? More timely, get things done, get things done long before a deadline.
I think they should shut it down. I mean, our government is heavily in deficit. We don't balance our budget. If we ran our personal finances the way the government's run its finances, we would be in jail. So I think that both sides have to concede and compromise and get something done.
It seems that every time we just pass it through because it is going to affect negatively so many people. And so we don't want to do that. And so we just push it through and kick it down the road to the next time. And eventually we have to stop, and we have to suffer the consequences of our spending.
Agricultural Secretary said some benefits could be affected within days or weeks if Congress fails to provide funding for the fiscal year starting October 1.